So made it to Mike's Rock Vista. It's nice that a rock and a vista were named after me. And I'm thinking of the thru hiker northbound that I met yesterday, whose name was also Mike. It's too bad we didn't meet here. Good morning. It is day 16 for me on the Spear Hiking Trail, and had a little bit of an eventful night. One, I was able to stream my favorite football team on national television from the tent, and they didn't care. The other thing was that I discovered that I do have a leak in my sleeping pad. Kind of disappointed, so next 24 hours I'm going to have to do some repair on that. And then one of the tent stakes came out in the middle of the night. So otherwise, big full moon came out sometime in the night and lit up the tent, but did get some sleep, and so ready to hit the trail in a little bit. Hoping to get to the 301 Gun Club or Fox Road, maybe the Trailhead, where a friend of mine is picking me up, and so gotta break up camp and get to it. They said that rain was going to come this afternoon, but based on those clouds, I better get moving. The other thing over the last few days, been finding lots of these as I'm packing up. So I decided to go ahead and keep wearing these pants, even though they're probably a pound heavier than they used to be. I am going to be crossing the Encampment River later today, so hopefully that'll wash some of the mud off, and wanted to have my backup pair clean for when I'm off trail tonight. Another change that I made from last year when I developed a stress fracture is ended up getting some orthotics for both feet, because I have a dislocated toe over here, plus the stress fracture on my second toe over here. So gives a little more arch support and relief, and overall they've worked really well. One thing I noticed too, slipping in the mud and clay yesterday, all the different muscles in my feet that got used, so I was doing lots of stretching and rolling last night to alleviate that. So normally I would filter water, but both the Middle Gooseberry and East Gooseberry, the way to get down is through a lot of clay, and I think I'll try the next site, which is less than a mile away, see if it's any easier. So it's about 8:40, which is 5 minutes or so sooner than I left yesterday, even though I slept in a little bit. So now I have a little less than 12 miles, and from all reports, the next stretch, practically all the way to Duluth, is a little bit flatter, and hopefully you'll be able to cruise and make up some time. So a little less than a mile out, and still seeing quite a bit of mud, which I kind of expected, but wished it wasn't. So we'll just have to take it easy. No sooner had I taken a nice picture and I hit this patch. One down. Gotta go slower. So I just saw my 17th grouse, third of the day, not even an hour into the hike. My daughter thinks it's because of my grouse fit. So made it to Mike's Rock Vista. It's nice that a rock and a vista were named after me. And I'm thinking of the thru hiker northbound that I met yesterday, whose name was also Mike. It's too bad we didn't meet here. Well, I'm just passing the Crow Valley campsite, and I'm about 2 hours in, a little over, and I've gone about 4 miles, so making good time. There are stretches where it's really nice and you can really cruise, and then there's stretches where you really got to be careful. So hopefully 7 more miles I'll be at the trailhead, and so just got to keep rolling on. So I made it to the West Castle Danger trailhead, and looks like I've got about 6.4 miles to finish the day. Gone about 3 hours and made close to 6 miles, so I'm feeling good. Should work out. Probably stop here and grab a little bite to eat, and then stop at Crow Creek and get water, and then head on the rest of the day. Just finished Wolf Rock, and I gotta say, I never knew that Wolf Rock existed. It's not even a mile from this trailhead in the easterly direction, and it is spectacular. So, I mean, Laveau is great, Oberg, Carlton Peak, but Wolf Rock was one of the highlights for me on this trip overall. Not to miss it. One of the things that is incredible to me about the trail is the number of private landowners who allow the trail to go through their property, and so it's really important to leave no trace and follow the rules as you're traversing through those areas. Well, and follow the rules everywhere. Nice little climb down toward Crow Creek, and it looks like we'll be doing a ford. And wouldn't you know, as soon as I started filtering, so the rain started. It's going to make for an interesting afternoon. So, just scared up 3 grouse, bringing the grouse-o-meter on this hike to 22 so far in a little less than 3 days of hiking. I didn't count last year, but today we've had 8 so far, and the 3, it was kind of funny that they were all within 20 feet of each other, but they each spooked at different times, so glad I'm wearing this outfit. Thankfully it wasn't too deep, so the poles helped. Now, this part isn't so bad, except for that log. So that chainsaw is Tanner, and he is clearing that log I just hopped over. So Tanner was sharing with me that all that clay I was dealing with, that the way they build the trail, it's the material that's there in the woods, and that's what's in that area. He said sometimes it takes 3-4 years for the soil to compact down and get solid, but that's just a year old, and there's been a lot of rain the last 2 years. So it was great to meet you, Tanner. Thanks a lot for all you and all the other trail maintainers do, and we'll see you down the trail. Beautiful view here. It's nice to be able to see two harbors and know I'm getting close and making progress on the trail. So one of the interesting parts of today is that I've passed about 80 guys, all guys, from a church near Minneapolis that are out doing some type of orienteering wilderness adventure. And they're on the trail, but they don't have any maps or anything. They're carrying gallons of water with them. But I did hear a report from somebody that said that they were camping on private land and stuff, and I hope that isn't the case. Some of them said, oh, we got permission to do that. Well, I find that hard to believe because they're so spread out, and the impact that if there's 80 or even double that out here in the woods isn't good. So hopefully they're obeying the rules about staying off the private property and not camping there, because we do want to keep this trail open and accessible, and so appreciate the private property owners who have allowed the trail to go through their land, and want to respect that. One more crossing to go. All right, well, it's a little after 4, and made it to the parking lot where I'm getting picked up, and survived the day. It was a little muddy, but made it through the river crossings without falling, and only had the one spill early in the morning, though a couple close calls. So now time to get freshened up.